Hello, everyone. Welcome to Yoga for Energy and Renewal. I am Megan, and it's great to have you here. If you're here live on Memorial Day, happy Memorial Day, or if you're here later with the recording. And this is my assistant, Saffron, helping today. If you'd like to have a chair, a wall, one or two yoga blocks, a small pillow or blanket, a resistance band, a yoga belt or strap, any other type of belt or scarf, something that makes your reach a little longer. Great things to have to support you. And of course, a yoga mat, but all these things are helpful but not necessary. And as we begin, if you'd like to sit supported on the floor or lean up against something to help support your spine, it's great. You certainly don't have to have legs crossed, and being in a chair is a great option. Being in a chair, I should say, is a great option. So we're just going to take a few moments here just to settle into the practice. So finding that comfortable seat, or you can lie down if that's more comfortable for you right now. Allowing your eyes to soften or close. You can shift around or roll the shoulders. Noticing physically how your body's feeling today. Feelings or emotions that are present. The energy level you have to work with today. How your breath is moving. It feels pretty smooth in and out through the nose. Feels like there's any restriction in the breath, either in the nose, in the chest, in the lungs. Allowing the belly to soften as you breathe. You'd like both hands to the space in front of the heart or directly on the heart. Connecting to an intention for your practice today. What seems like something that would be supportive to you. Something in the body, something in the mind, something with your breath or energy. Just ready, letting that release. And you can keep your eyes soft or closed if you'd like to follow along with the short mudra practice or just listen. This is called Ushas Mudra, which is the gesture of the dawn. And it's just a very light lacing of the fingers with the thumbs left out. So just kind of at that first knuckle joint, just lacing the fingers together, keeping the thumbs soft, and you could have your hands resting on your lap or on a pillow, and allowing the spine to lengthen, the eyes to soften or close. If you'd like, you can repeat the affirmation with this mudra to yourself silently or out loud. I greet each new day as a mystery, to be lived fully and joyfully. I greet each new day as a mystery, to be lived fully and joyfully. I greet each new day as a mystery, to be lived fully and joyfully. And slow breath in, maybe a slightly longer breath out. When you're ready, releasing the hands, just open and close the fingers a few times. See if you can really get into what's called the webbing of the fingers, the webbing of the hands. So getting a little kind of lengthening extension through the fingertips. And then closing the fingertips to the thumbs. So trying to bring them together like a beak. Good. And then we'll bring the backs of the hands together. Just let them do a little swing for the wrists. You can keep the fingers facing down or move them all the way up and all the way back through. That's okay for the elbows and the shoulders. Excellent. And then holding the thumbs lightly inside of the palms, you can close your fingers around the thumbs, take some circles through the wrists. So really taking care to pay attention to our joints before we get into bigger movements. Maybe going the other way if you're circling. And flipping the palms up like you're holding a tray or you're holding a little plate on each hand. Just let your elbows rest along your sides. Just going to bring your hands out to the sides and exhale back in. So as you inhale, that little rotation through the shoulders. You might also feel a little opening across the chest or a little squeezing of the muscles of the upper back, depending on the amount of effort you're using here. And the next time the arms come out or hands come out to the sides, just taking some circles at the elbows. And going the other direction. And then just lightly bringing the arms out to the sides. Hopefully you have space there. And then bending at the elbows with the palms facing forward, just soften the shoulders down. So sometimes the shoulders go right up by the ears when we bring the arms into this position. And then like you're going to tap somebody's hands at the bottom and tap somebody's hands at the top. Call this like low five, high five. And then trying that just one arm at a time, little robot arms. So if you need to relax your shoulders down or lower the elbows to be a little more comfortable there. Great. And then bringing both palms to face forward again. Let the forearms and the palms touch if possible. Tip the hands one way so you make like a long lever, or keeping the elbows a little straighter if you can. And then over to the other side. So notice if your hands or your wrists want to tip, you might need to make a smaller range of motion. And as you come through the center, we'll just slide one arm on top of the other, doesn't matter which one. Just take a little side to side motion. So again, lowering the elbows down if that's more comfortable for the neck and shoulders. And taking a little circular movement for the upper back and the shoulders. And going the other direction. And then switching which arm is on top. Taking again, little side to side movements. And throughout the practice, just checking in with the amount of effort you're using, making sure it's appropriate for the level of energy you have today. Taking some circles. So if you're feeling pretty good, pretty energized, maybe putting a little more effort into the practice. If you're pretty wiped out and tired, maybe you are using this more in a restorative, rejuvenating way today. And as your arms come back to the center, just take the top arm and then the second arm, the bottom arm, bring them back out to the sides, and we'll reach up towards the ceiling. So it may be more comfortable to rotate your pinkies forward. Just kind of check in with your shoulders and your neck, palms forward, pinkies forward, and see which one feels more comfortable. And then knowing that, just bring the elbows back down as you exhale. And as you reach up, you're either going to have pinkies forward or palms forward. hopefully now we've assessed which one feels better. So inhaling, finding that length in the spine, exhaling, drawing the elbows back down. Okay, and then just let the arms relax all the way down. Take some circles of the shoulders to the back, or just shrug the shoulders gently up and down if that feels better. You can tip the chin down or look forward or up. Move your head around if that feels good. And reversing the direction. If you're circling, just keep lifting up and down. If you're lifting up and down, just loosening there through the shoulders, the neck, the upper back, and letting the hands rest. Just letting your head tilt to one side, softening all the way down this side of the neck. So you may look ahead if that's better for you, or tip your chin to your shoulder. And you can stay in one of those positions or explore a little movement, looking up towards the ceiling or straight ahead and back towards the shoulder. Noticing any tight spots that might be there. And slowly making your way to the other side. And seeing if this feels similar or different. And trying to soften down the side of the neck, and you can keep your head still, tilt it down, or find a little bit of movement depending on this side and how it feels. Gradually bringing your head back to the center. Just take 2 more movements with the head and neck, and then we'll change position. So taking a little look from one side to the other. And if we can encourage the shoulders to stay soft. And as you come through the center, a little look up and down towards the floor. So still encouraging a smooth and steady breath. And there be ease in your breath, in your body, and in your practice. Even when there's effort, you should have some amount of ease. And coming back to the center. So we'll start to move more into the spine and the hips and the lower body. So I'm going to change to a standing position, but you're welcome to stay seated or either on the floor in the chair if you'd like. Got a little surprise here behind me, folks, when I move. Oh, what did we have here? Saffron, you must go for a ride over here. Okay. I felt her just settle in nicely. So if you're coming up from the floor, you might want to use your chair or countertop, or not countertop, sofa, or coffee table to help you stand up a little bit easier. Maybe you'd like to have your chair or a wall next to you, a little more balance support. You will be doing some balance work. And just taking a moment to shift a little side to side. So if you were sitting on the floor in particular that whole time, might be a little stiffness there in the legs or in the hips. You can stay with that side to side shift or take some circles. You can rest the hands on the hips if you're seated in the chair and do some seated circles, perfectly good there, or shifting side to side. If you're standing and it's possible to do a little bigger circle without strain, see how that goes. And changing the direction. If you're circling, you're moving side to side, just sticking with your side to side. And as you come back to the center, just start with that little lean to each side. So I'm just kind of pressing my weight into one foot and then the other. I'm not really doing anything in particular with the hips, just kind of shifting. And then see if you can encourage a little more movement through the hips and the pelvis and the low back with a little tipping up of your hip as you go to the side. So you can do this from seated as well if it's comfortable for your back. You don't have to like get a super big or exaggerated movement here. And if your hips are going nowhere, even as you're going to the side and telling them to lift up and nothing is happening, just using a visualization of that, imagining your hip is lifting into your hand. Great, and then as you come back through the center, you might want to walk your feet a little closer if they were further apart. We'll take a little walk in place, feeling up one heel at a time. So if it's comfortable, you can have hands at the hips or one hand on the chair or the wall. Some people like to do balance pole arms here, tucking the thumbs into the fingers. This helps to activate the core a little bit, but it also gives us a little bit more balance when we have the arms out to the sides. So if you're doing pretty good here with the walk in place and the heel lift, maybe taking this into a slow march, and that might change. You need to hold on or using balance pole arms. I'm trying to keep the eyes fairly up. So if you're looking 8 to 10 feet ahead, great. Just try not to look straight down at your feet. And then if you want to try a little extra balance work as you lift one foot, see if you can get a little pause there. And then slowly switch. And you can keep the heel on the ground or just hover the toe. If you're lifting, especially if you're lifting a little higher, really be intentional here that as you lift the leg up, you keep the hip down and the shoulders relaxed. So typically our hip wants to lift up to help out using recruiting different muscles. And our shoulders are also trying to pull everything up as well. So keeping all of that a little softer, that might even happen if your foot is on the floor as you're lifting the heel. And then coming back to the center, do a similar thing with the arms, doing a little swing of the arms. So softening through the shoulders. See if you can tune into your spine and feel the connection of the muscles from your arms to your shoulders and upper back, maybe even all the way into the spine area. So we may or may not be able to sense that, but we're going to attempt it. And then if you'd like, you can take this into a walk in place, lifting the opposite heel. And sometimes we have to figure this out, even though this is what we naturally do when we're walking. When we try to do it, it's like our brain doesn't remember how to do it. Good. And then just come back to stillness, finding your mountain pose, maybe finding a little ease in the feet and the knees, maybe finding a little rock forward and backward, finding your center, rock side to side as well. And then from standing, or you could stay seated in your chair this whole time, we're going to try a little breath to movement, a little gentle flow. So this is a variation of something I often teach seated called the circle of joy. So I'm going to move the chair. So if you're using the chair for balance, you might want it in front of you so that you can reach out to it, or have a wall behind you. It's kind of hard with the chair at your side because then you kind of hit it with your hand. So as you inhale, and you reach up with the arms. Exhale, lace the fingers together as you come down through the center. Lacing the fingers doesn't work, just touch the fingertips. Inhale to the level of the heart. Exhale, send the palms forward, lower the chin to the chest. Inhale as you lift up, release the fingers at any time so there's not strain. Exhale all the way down. So we'll add on to this as it's appropriate and leave things out if that feels better. So inhale, exhale, touch the fingertips or lace the fingers as you exhale, come down through the center line. Inhale to the level of the heart, and you might flip the palms and lower the chin. I'll show you from the side. Or you might take a little chair pose, sitting back into your heels. Inhale as you lift all the way up. Exhale to release. So we'll move through that 2 more times, doing whichever version is appropriate for you. If you want to look up here for an additional balance challenge, you could do that as well and follow your hands with your eyes down to the floor. Inhale as you look to the center, flip the palms out and either send them forward or sit back in your chair. Lengthening is fine. Inhale as you reach up. Exhale as you lower down. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, maybe lift the eyes. Exhale as you come down through the center line, like you're instilling that energy all the way through the center channel of your body. Inhale to the level of the heart. Exhale, flip the palms. Maybe take that little seat. Weight back on the heels, spine long. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, nice long, slow float down if you can. Taking a little pause at the bottom, just noticing how that feels. I'm going to turn back towards you. You can stay whichever direction feels the most comfortable for you. I'm going to add in another little mini flow here. So reaching the arms slowly up. I'm going to bring the left arm down and take the right arm into a little lateral bend, little side bend. So if you have osteoporosis, this might be just a little tiny bend and not a deeper bend. Inhale back up. This time we're going to open the arms either into a L shape or a T, or again, if you don't have osteoporosis, you could take a bigger twist here. That's appropriate for your spine. And then inhale back up. And then we'll take a lateral bend to the right. Again, it might be a mini bend. You can always have this arm down lower if it's uncomfortable in your shoulder. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, L arms on the other side, or T, or finding that rotation. So lots of options to make it work for you. And inhale, reach up. Do that one more time to each side. Lower the left arm, take a lateral bend. So you exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, L, T, or open. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lateral bend to the right. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, L, T, or open to the side. Inhale, back up. This time, letting your arms slowly float down if you can. Relaxing effort in your joints and your muscles. Just noticing how that feels as you come down. So typically, as we reach the arms above the heart, we get a little bit of that boosting cardiovascular effect. So you might notice a little faster breath or a little more energy. All right, and let's bring in the lower body a bit, shall we? So if you'd like to have a chair or yoga blocks on the floor, or you could also have a wall. Move saffron. So you'd be facing the short edge of your mat if you are standing. If you're seated, as we take a step back, take that same leg and just step it forward from seated. And that's a great option to meet you where you're at today. All right, so palms of the heart in Anjali Mudra. Re-find your mountain pose in your feet, lengthening through the crown of the head, through the spine. And we'll take that reach up with the arms. And then this time we'll bring the palms through the center. You can reach down with one hand and hold on to something if you need as you slide or step the right foot back or forward from seated, angling the foot out with a little warrior one shape in the legs. And we're bringing the torso forward. So if you feel really like wobbly here, try widening the feet. And then we'll open up the arms to the side as a cactus arm. Maybe bend into the front knee if that's comfortable. As you exhale, straighten the leg, turn the palms to face you. So if you're seated in the chair and your right leg is stepped forward, you can lean a little bit forward and back, or you can just sit upright, focusing more on the breath and lengthening the spine. This time we'll pause with the cactus arms, and you can have your front knee straight or bent. We'll bring the right hand down to the hip. If you don't need to hold on to something with it, reach up with the left arm, maybe rotate your pinky forward, and then we'll sweep the arm down and bend straighten the front leg. It was already bent. And then we'll take that bend and reach up, straighten, as you exhale. Taking your time, just go at your own pace. This time as the arm comes down, the leg might straighten. You can bring both hands to your hips, to your heart, or to your chair seat as you rotate the back heel forward and then step up. Just take a little walk out or a little hip shake or a little circle of the hips to release there. And we'll trial that on the other side. So we'll start with palms of the heart. Remember, you can always take a break anytime you need or change from standing to seated or vice versa. We'll take a reach all the way up. I just got ahead of myself there and exhale back to the heart. You can keep your hands there or hold on to something as you step back with the left foot, angling the foot out and the heel in. So maybe take a moment here, widen your stance, really get your grounding in your feet before you start to move. So this time, left foot is forward if you're seated. As you inhale, you might straighten the front leg and bring the elbows out to the sides. If you want a little more work here, give a little squeeze between the shoulders. And come back to palms of the heart as you bend. So seeing if you can move smoothly with your breath, go at your own pace. Just do about 2 more. This time we'll open up and bring your left hand to your left hip. Your right arm can come forward with your leg and sweep down. Breathing smoothly, being a little bit of engagement through your core. And again, you can hold on to something or bring hands to the heart as you step up. A little walk out. And then we'll have a little fun, hopefully, with our warrior 2. So, from seated, a great option for warrior 2 is similar to warrior 1. That you have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, or you can take 1 foot forward straight out, 1 foot more to the side at this angle. So this is a great shape for warrior 2, and it's a lot easier for the hips and the low back than to fully get into this position. This is a lot of internal rotation for your hip and your low back, not terribly comfortable. So if you're staying seated in the chair, maybe you want more of an L or a V shape with your legs. Okay. If you want to add on here, a little challenge, you can have a block, a little pillow, a rolled up blanket. What else? You could use a little book, a little tiny light hand weight, like 1 to 3 pounds, or a little ball. Just something to give your brain a little extra to think about, even though it doesn't weigh a whole lot. And if you're using something for balance, you might want to lean against a wall or have your chair in front of you if you're standing on the long edge of the mat. So we'll bring the feet wide first. And wide is like variable, whatever feels most stable for you. So find a place where you feel pretty stable and even in your feet. And then we'll take the right foot and rotate it towards the short edge of the mat from that standing position. So when you're seated, just making that L or V shape. And we'll start to bend into the foot that's facing the short edge of the mat if you're standing. You can also use the block or something you're holding here to press gently into it, and it just gives your brain like the idea you're a little more stable. So if you do just little engagement here, a little press in, your brain says, oh, you've got something sturdy to hang on to. This isn't as scary as just not holding on to anything. And so we'll add on, and you can leave any part of this out that feels like it's too challenging or makes you, off balance or dizzy. So first step would just be bend the knee and just put that little squeeze into the block and then release. I'm just lightly squeezing the block. I'm not trying to like crush it or anything. Just getting a little bit of engagement in the shoulders and upper back, but I don't want hunching up here. So now I might squeeze as I bend and bring the block in that direction. Then as I straighten, I might bring it around to the other side. You could also bring it just straight out in front of you if that's too much rotation in your spine. And then come back around as the block comes forward. Straighten as you bring it around to the side. So lots of coordination happening here as well. And one more time back to the front, into the back. And then we'll meet back at the front. Bring the block back into the center. Maybe release the effort there of the squeeze. Take a little roll out. Just straighten your leg. Rotate your right foot forward and your left foot towards the short edge of the mat. So if you're seated in the chair, you're just going to switch your L or V shape. We'll just test this knee to see if it even wants to bend. So just take a few bends there. And remember, if you are just gently pressing into whatever you're holding, giving your brain a little more stability, your nervous system a little more stability with the balance. And then if you want to add on, we can take that bend in the knee, reach out to the side in the direction of your knee. And then as you straighten, you can bring it around to the side. You can also come straight to the front if this is uncomfortable. So as you come back around, we'll exhale. And as you push off, you can inhale. Or if it feels better to have a reverse of that breath, give that a try. So let a strength here, a lot of stability work. And then we'll meet back in the front. And bring the block in towards the heart. You may give it a little press as you soften the shoulders. Straighten the front leg, rotate both feet forward. So if you're in the chair, you can keep your feet wider, but you might want to turn your toes out a little from the chair. It's just more comfortable for the hips to have a little heels in, toes out. If you're standing, you can have your feet forward or your heels in, whatever's more comfortable. So we'll bring it forward as we inhale. As we exhale, just back to the chest or the heart. Inhale forward. Exhale back in. So just two more of those. Let's get a little protraction and retraction of the shoulders, the upper back. See if you can keep the shoulders soft. And then we'll change this up a little. So we'll rotate the heels in if you're standing. And you can still stay in this upright position and just move the block, or if you'd like, as the block comes forward, slide down an invisible wall into a squat, keeping the chest up. Push off into the feet, bring it in. So you might inhale as you send it forward. Exhale as you rise. Or if it feels better to breathe the opposite of that, that is perfectly fine. But try to keep your knees pressing outward and not caving in. And then we'll turn the feet forward. We'll step them in just about a half step. And then turn the toes back out again, heels in. We'll take a little around the world. Let me scoot back a little bit. So by around the world, just mean we're going to take this up and around. And then as you come to the bottom, we're going to go around the world the other way. So reverse. So you have a little option here to just rotate around with the arms or follow with your body. Lighten your heel as you reach away from it. And then set your heel down, lighten your other heel. So there's no magic here as far as like moving the feet with the hands. It can get kind of confusing, but see if you can just shift the weight from one foot to the other and get a little lighter or a little lift under one heel as you come down and around, even if you're doing something really different with your heels or your arms. It's trying to give our brain a little different info than it's used to, so it can make some new neural connections, which we all need. Okay, next time you come up to the top, just pause at the top, bring both heels to rest, and slowly, slowly come down. And as you bring your arms all the way down, just take a moment of pause and notice with the eyes open or closed, what's happening energetically, physically, and with your breath. All right, so we'll get rid of the block. And we'll do a little bit more with the legs and the balance from standing. Again, if you want to be by your wall or your chair, demonstrate with that. If you want to stay seated, also good. So bringing the left foot forward. You can hold on to something or not, or bring your balance pole arms out, or have your hands at your heart. And take a little opening of your knee to the side. So see if you can kind of roll towards the pinky toe or towards the edge of your foot. So we're getting into the ankle mobility as well. Okay, great little hip mobility exercise. So we're going to kind of increase the challenge slowly. So first we're just kind of warming that up, and you can just stick with that motion the whole time if you want, or slide the foot in, soften your standing knee, take a little slide out, hold the balance there, and slide in. So that's like step 2. Slide out, keep everything pretty still, slide in. If you want even more challenge, and you could hold on to something, we're going to sit the weight back towards the heel of the standing leg and either take that little slide out, pause, and slide in, or try it with the foot lifted. Oh, that's harder. Bringing the knee out, bringing the knee in. Okay. So working on these stabilizing muscles. Oh, it's such a joy. And then the next time your foot is in, I'll set it down and start to rotate the knee to the side. So if it's not very comfortable for you to be in that external rotation, you can have your foot forward at an angle and just on the floor, or you could bring it heel to ankle bone, finding your tree pose. Remember, you could hold on, or you could slide that up to the inside of your calf or to the inside of your thigh if that's in your practice, just not right here. Keep off of the knee, go either below or above the knee. And if you'd like, you can grow your tree or your cactus or your bush, whatever shape you're making today. So hold your gaze steady, breath steady, so keep breathing. And then we're going to fly this back into a little airplane. So you can set the foot down first if you want, or bring it back behind you. I got to switch forward a little bit. And then bring your arms down. So make a little flying airplane. So holding that, if it's, let me turn this way. If it's comfortable for you to hold on or try to lift your foot, getting a little flying airplane. Throw that in. And slowly come back in. Just take a little march out or a little hip shift or a little circle and then release that standing hip. Just doing a lot of work. If you're like, oh my gosh, this is getting tiring already, you can do all this from seated. That's perfectly good. Or just sit and take a break for a little bit. All right, other side. We're almost done with efforting, I swear. I'm going to bring the right foot forward this time. Getting the balance in the standing leg, not locking the knee. Take that little roll to the pinky edge of the toe if possible. A little external rotation for your hip. So notice as you're doing this rotation of the hip or the knee? Did the shoulders do this? Or did the jaw tense up? We want to keep that soften down if we can. They're just such good friends, the hips and the shoulders. They just want to help each other out. So you could stay with that rocking, or you could add in that little slide out, pause, slide in. So remember, after you do the initial 1 or 2, try to bring your eyes forward, either 8 to 10 feet or straight out in front of you. Try to look straight down at your feet once you make sure you're not going to trip over anything down there. So you could do that version. You could take the little hinge at the hips and hold on to something with one or both hands, or hold into nothing and take that little slide out, pause, and slide in. Or if you're feeling really strong in that standing leg, maybe lift out and come back in. So try to keep your eyes and breath steady, your mind quiet to help with the balance. Last one. And then as you set that down, you can give your leg a little shake if you need. Remember, in your tree pose, you can have your foot forward at an angle or flat, or even on a block. You can have your heel bone resting on your ankle bone, or sliding it up to the inside of your calf, or the inside by the inside of your thigh, and like way up here, but having that above your knee if you're doing that version. I also like, but didn't show on the first side, you could just like kind of rest it on the chair too, although personally I find that a little more complicated. All right, so find your tree variation. You can lean into a wall with the side if you're standing. Maybe find, your cactus arms. Maybe you'll have a cottonwood or ponderosa. So whatever, whatever your tree pose is for this side. And relax the breath. Try to keep the eyes pretty steady, breath pretty quiet. And then slowly float one or both arms down. I'm going to bring the knee forward. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see better. As you bring the pinkies back, you hinge at the hips and take a little slide back with your foot. So if you're seated, you could do this foot forward instead and stay there, or try to fly your plane into the windy skies we have today. Maybe you're like, whoa, it's very windy up here. Because it is, at least where I am today. You might be flying all over the sky. And then slowly come back in. Take that walk or march out. Oh, you did it. You did it. You made it through all of this crazy balance work. Maybe take a little shift side to side or a little circle. If you just took like a really big sigh, maybe some breath holding was going on. Not unusual. It pretty much happens every time I'm teaching in person. We come out of a balancing series and everyone's like collective releasing breaths. I'm like, okay, we might have been holding a little bit there. That's okay. Good information. All right, so we're going to move down to the floor and do just a tiny bit lying down on our stomach. So if that doesn't work for you, perfectly fine. You can stand at a wall. I do not have a good wall here, but it would be like here at the wall. Chair's a little bit low, so if you're not using a wall, maybe you just have hands in front of you, or a countertop. Countertop is higher. That's great. If you're staying seated in the chair, you use your invisible wall right out here in front of you. And remember, if you are coming down to the floor, you can always hold on to your furniture to get down a little more safely. Now, if I did not have my co-host here on the blanket, I might also put the blanket across the mat under my hips or under my stomach lengthwise, just to make that a little more comfortable. Move you over here now, Saffron. All right. So if you're coming down to your stomach, and again, remember that's just an option, and you're not there yet, see if you can shift your hips forward and down, making a strong plank first. So you work a little bit on that upper back and arm strength. Draw your belly in and then slide your elbows along your ribs. Slowly lower down if you can. Try not to just fall down onto the floor. And then we'll bring the feet a little wider, about hips distance apart, hands underneath the shoulders, elbows along the ribs. You can keep your face down, or as you inhale, start to slowly lift the face or the chest in a little baby cobra. And exhale, release. So if you're at the wall, you can still do that little arch in the back, or you can just do a straight wall push away, like a wall push up. And exhaling down. So keep your legs active. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. And one more. So as you release this, if you are on the floor, you might want to widen your knees and just sit back, lengthen the spine into a little child's pose variation. If you're standing, you can just walk back from the wall, sit back, weight in the heels and lengthen the spine. Seated, you could do a little cat-cow or some more circles, just releasing and lengthening through the spine in whatever variation is suitable today. And slowly making your way over onto your back, and take your strap or belt or scarf with you if you would like to use it. If lying down on your back isn't comfortable, you can certainly do this part seated in the chair or lying down on your bed. Saffron would like a belly rub if anyone was here to rub her belly. Yes, I know. Such a goof. All right, so we'll take this strap with and just lay it across your lap for now. If you'd like to have a folded blanket or pillow under your head for a little neck support, we want our eyes kind of neutrally facing the ceiling or the chin slightly tucked down, with the feet in about hips distance apart. So you can rest the strap across your lap, maybe widen your arms. And as you inhale, pick up the strap and reach up towards the ceiling, and then adjust when you get here to see like what is the best distance for your shoulders to feel comfortable. Slowly start to reach up towards your ears or out in front of you if you're seated, and your arms may not come down to the floor, and we're not forcing the neck to be uncomfortable here. And as you exhale, bring the arms down, pick up your right foot, see if you can give the right knee a little hug in by bringing this strap around the shin. Inhale, set the foot down, reach back up just to where it's comfortable. Exhale, bring the strap down, the arms down. You could give a little hug in. So if you're not using the strap, you could hug with your hands around your shin or behind your thigh or to the sides of your pants. We'll do one more each side. Inhale, slowly lift up. Exhale, bring the right thigh or knee in. Maybe give that a little hug. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hug the left one in. This time we'll inhale, reach up. Exhale, as you bring the right foot in, maybe you toss the strap down there around your foot. And if that doesn't work, you can always hold it behind. Show that. You can always hold it behind your leg. Or if you're not using the strap, you can hold your pants or lace your fingers behind your thigh. So if you're in the chair, this leg can be straight out in front of you, and you can keep your heel on the floor if that's more comfortable. So we'll slide the hands down the strap if you're using it so that the backs of your arms and your elbows can rest comfortably on the floor. And maybe take a little side to side movement with the leg. So if you have a stretchy band, your hands can probably stay still and the band will stretch with your leg. If your band does not stretch, you might bring both pieces into the right arm or right hand, so you can move with your leg. So it just depends on what type of band you're using, if you're using one. And coming back towards the center, we'll bend at the knee. So bringing the heel towards the back of the thigh, and inhale, straighten the leg. So keep a generous bend in your knee if that feels more comfortable for your knee and your hamstrings and your back. Keeping the breath steady, checking in with tension in the shoulders, neck, the jaw. And I like to switch feet while I have my feet lifted, but however you would like to get your other foot in there. Remember, you can bring the pieces of the strap into the same side hand as foot that's in there. If you want to move with your leg a little side to side, or if your band stretches, you can hold on to it as your leg moves across. And as you come back through the center, taking a little bend through the knee. So bend and straighten the leg a few times. Just notice any differences on this side compared to the first side. Does it feel tighter? Does it feel a little more relaxed? And then bringing the strap off the bottom of the foot, you can set it over to the side. Relaxing your arms by your sides. Just let the back of your head take a little slow roll across the floor, or a little half neck roll if you're seated. Softening any tension in the neck and the shoulders. And as you bring your head back to the center, you can keep your feet where they are or widen them about the width of the mat. Your knees slowly take a little windshield wiper or rock to each side. As your knees face the ceiling or the center again, just walk your feet back in so they're right under the knees. Let your right foot or leg slide out long. Let it completely relax so your toes roll out to the side, and just take a little rock on your heel. So your leg is doing a little rolling pin internally and externally, as long as that's okay for your knee. You're loosening up through the hip a bit. And then we'll bring that leg in. Slowly take the other one out, the left leg out, let it relax out to the side. And you can stay in that relaxed position or rock on your heel, a little internal, external rotation of your leg. And then slowly bring that back in. And just determine, assess, sense into your body. Is there any other type of movement you need? Would you like a gentle stretch or a bridge or a happy baby or something else that would feel good to you? Just taking your time to find some comfortable movement before your rest. If your low back is feeling pretty sensitive today, you might want to widen your feet if you're lying down and let your knees come together to touch, or have a pillow or block between your knees in constructive rest. Or you might want to lie on your side with something between your knees. Some of you might be comfortable lying with your legs extended, but with a blanket rolled up under your knees or a pillow. If you're seated, leave that pillow behind your back. So finding a place where you can be as comfortable as possible. Allowing your eyes to soften or close. If you'd like, you could follow along here. You don't really have to see this motion. You just kind of talk you through it. Letting your fingertips rest in the center of your forehead, or just visualize them there, like they're drawing towards your temples and pulling any tension or stress to your temples, and then just out to the sides, like you're sliding any tension, any stress off your forehead, down to your temples, and just gently kind of flick it off to the sides. Imagine you are smoothing out the forehead. And then coming from the temples down towards the center of the chin. If you're drawing any tension away from the jaw, as the jaw relaxes down towards the chin. Just letting the hands and arms rest. And seeing how just a little simple movement or visualization can help the face soften. Imagining the corners of your eyes relaxing, reducing strain. Cheeks softening. The tongue relaxing down. The jaw softening. Imagining that softness traveling down from your neck, from the front body, and down your spine, down the back body. Releasing any effort that you can in your arms and legs. Softening the throat and the belly. Next time you take an exhaling breath, so you can soften a little more. And a sense of ease to your body, ease to your mind, ease to your breath. If you're staying here longer for relaxation or meditation, please feel free to stay where you are. If you're closing your practice, take your time to find some gentle movement. I'm going to come to your side for a breath or two before coming back up if you're lying down. If you're closing, you might wish to bring your palms to your heart and lower or close your eyes. Acknowledging your effort today. And our closing reading is: what we do and how we speak is either constructive or destructive. Choose to be constructive. Don't be a bulldozer. where life calls on you to be a builder. Hope you have a wonderful holiday today. Take good care, everyone. And for those of you who are normally here on Mondays, next week, I will be out of town, so there won't be a live class next Monday for me. So just FYI on that. Hope to see you soon, though. Take good care. Namaste. Thank you all. Have a great day. Thanks for being here.